Boom! Good morning, everyone. It's another weekly recap. This time it's week 2 of New Year's. I hope every one of you had a good first week. How you guys doing? Um, I've been checking the markets. This is gonna be a very short video because honestly, there isn't much to talk about. Um, yeah, I'm just going to start off with the crypto total and with Bitcoin. Then we go into the gems, but honestly, like most of it looks like absolute garbage. I'm just gonna spoil that right away. Anyway, let's get into it. So, first, I would like to look at the crypto total. As you can see, we are still correcting from this move up. And here's the thing. Um, this is a very important level. Now, all of these levels before, they were just like, okay, if we bounce here, we can retain the momentum that we've been having this entire time. If we bounce here, okay, it's a little deeper, but we can still continue up fairly well. However, now the condition is a little different. Now this is the kind of last level of support before a lower low, and that is significant. That is very significant. So this wick got filled, and now we're here. You can immediately see some dojis, which means we are having indecision in the market, which is good. I would expect to stay here for a few days, maybe even see some kind of shenanigans below. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I don't think you can trade this, right? So why would there be an SFP? But no, overall, I would really like to see the market bounce here because otherwise I would go as far as calling for a bear market, possibly. So yeah, very important level, very important level. However, if we bounce from here, we can still easily continue up, no problem. But it will really depend on this. Which brings us to Bitcoin. Very much the same story. All of this is very nice, but if you look at the structure zoomed out a little bit, we had this huge uptrend, right? Then we corrected and got this structure that looked like a head and shoulder in the beginning. So I guess a lot of people expected downside. But hey, it never formed, it never got confirmed and we broke upside. We had a perfect break and retest and we continued up. And up here, this currently looks like a double top. Easily looks like a double top. The problem with that is that from that double top, that means we broke upwards, right? We closed above the previous highs and all that, but we failed to launch. There wasn't enough buying pressure to really propel us up with momentum. Instead, what we are getting is a pretty goddamn deep correction, and we corrected so far that we are now at a critical level, at the last level of support before turning really bearish. Because this is now the important market structure level. If this breaks, market structure changes, and we're gonna be in a bear market, kind of. I mean, you could argue that if we are still above this, we're good, but that would just mean that we're in a ranging market here, which, like on the long time frame, it would mean that we have this whole thing as a range, and maybe we'll bounce here a couple of times around. I mean, we've never seen Bitcoin do anything like that, but maybe that's gonna happen. Who knows? I mean, there's absolutely no point in trying to predict this. These are just like some scenarios that pop up in my mind what could happen. However, we still have to play around the directional bias that the market gives us. And right now, this doesn't necessarily scream bullish. Like, we should have bounced earlier to scream bullish, but it can still do something. However, now in order to turn bullish, we simply need to break this level and retest it. And I hope we can do that from here. If we can't, if we just like the bearish scenario I would expect is that we go over here, and here we have a lot of confluence for shorts, right? Because we have the diagonal, we have a retest of maybe this diagonal that got broken from below, we have a bearish retest of this support level. There's a lot of reason to be short here. So the buyers will really need to step up. As for Ethereum, what did I do? Ethereum, similar level. It's a little bit lagging behind Bitcoin, so maybe it will still go lower, who knows. But this is another critical level. If we break this level, I would expect a visit of 1700s, probably. So yeah, that's that. So let's jump into all of these gems. I mean, look, I'm gonna go very quickly because most of this is just, yeah, it's trash. Anyway, I just spotted something over here, which I never noticed before. Okay. So I guess this order block over here is holding warp level, the warp price in a somehow uptrend, I guess, whatever this is. Anyway, what's important about this area is that buyers have shown up once, twice, three times, four times already, but now we are penetrating deeper into it. Um, I would say if we have something like a deeper retest than this, then we can continue way, way lower. But who knows, maybe this will still allow for a bounce and a continuation up. I mean, could totally happen. So yeah, that's warp. NFTX looks kinda alright, honestly. Like I really like it. Broke out of this structure, is above all the EMAs. I kinda wanted it to go deeper. I would have been happy if it got over here, where I have the alert, which can still happen. It can still very, very easily happen. On the lower time frame, if we look at the latest structure, we don't really have a change in market structure yet because it's just, what do we have? One, two, three. This is wave four. Okay. Either it's wave four or it's wave one of the new one. Anyway, it will be decided once we create a higher high, which still isn't here. So I would expect this maybe to correct a little lower. If it does, this is a good buy. Like NFTX is one of the few ones that actually look alright. And about stop loss, yeah, it's gonna be underneath here. Like once price gets here, the whole thing is invalidated. So um, yeah, this is a very reasonable stop loss. Okay, what's up next? Rook. Yeah, very important level of support over here. As you can see, we bounced once, twice, three times, four times, fifth time here. Is that enough? Like, are there still enough buyers to absorb the selling pressure? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this break and see some new crazy lows on Rook. I really wouldn't. Like, market looks horrible right now. Then again, it can all change with one pump, right? It's all just a probability game. But right now, you just don't want to be buying anything. It's just too risky. Melon? Ugh, I don't know. Like, is this a retest of this level? Is this actually looks like pretty important support? Yeah, that looks like pretty important support. Nice. Let's delete this. High time frame support. Is it green? No. Okay. So here the method is that we see high time frame support, which we define on the daily or the weekly, and we kind of drill in, we zoom in a little bit, and we look for a change in market structure. For that to happen, we need to see this level broken to the upside, and maybe then we get a retest and we can buy that. But for now, just not interested because anything that's going to retest this range high is also very strong previous support, which is now going to act as resistance. So seriously, this is like we will need to see buyers step it up all over the market heavily. Like they're gonna have to push the pedal to the metal with the buys, and I don't think that's gonna happen that easily. So yeah, everything looks like shit. Everything is at critical support, and my bias right now is that most likely those critical supports will break, but we'll see. Bank looks like absolute shit. New all-time lows. Just like, ugh, no, not get the fuck out of my screen, bank. Remark is another one that I'm very interested in buying. However, right now there's just like a clear downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs, all around. All the EMAs sloping down. I wouldn't be surprised to see this again at $10. And Remark is honestly one of my hottest coins that I'm watching. So I really want to have a position in here. But I will be patient and I will only enter on a good valid setup. Now, this is probably where I would expect some kind of action. This level. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So no matter what, this is the daily chart. I'm always going to be drilling deeper and checking for a shift of market structure at expected level of bounce on expected level support. So we'll see what happens once we get there. We could totally break up over here and retest like this, and I would be interested in buying over here. So we're gonna have to see what the market gives us, but not going to be buying into anything unless I see the market showing some strength from this downtrend, because we are not trying to catch knives here expecting the lowest price. That's just bullshit. We need confirmation, or at least I do. Okay, RGT looked kinda alright. I mean, there's this little trend line here, and I thought once that breaks, then I would buy. But that idea was only valid while we were talking about the retest of the range high, which was here. This was a break and retest pattern. So once price broke below into this entire area, well, hello, into this entire area, the idea is no longer valid because we expected this level to hold. Then I would buy the breakout here. Wow, that was a sneaky one, wasn't it? This one. Hmm. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I wouldn't be buying that anyway. But yeah, if that happened, then I would have been interested in buying. Right now, I'm not. We're back in the range. I would expect something like maybe this, and then whatever happens next, I don't know. But we're back in the range. That's basically the verdict. This looked pretty alright. I mean, I'm not happy about the fact that we got rejected at previous resistance immediately, but there was a trade here that I called right here, this close. I was like, okay, buying this would probably be a pretty damn good setup, and a target would be over here. That's 62%, but I didn't buy because, well, market looks like shit, and I didn't want to get exposed. But this was a beautiful, beautiful setup, beautiful break and retest. Oh well, shit happens, can't catch them all. XFT, man, I see many people in the channel talk about XFT, about buying XFT. Are you guys crazy? Like, are you guys crazy? Let me ask you something. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so let's remove all of this. Are you telling me that you want to buy this? How? Like, how? Where's the risk to reward? What does it do from here? I mean, look, let's say this does a new high. Okay, there's 40%. How do you even define risk on this? Let's go on a lower time frame. How do you define risk? Are you just gonna put it below some of these lows? I really don't know. This is a very, very extended trend with no real deep corrections. I mean, this is eventually gonna break support or break momentum, and when it does, it's gonna drop heavy, like 40-50% easily. That's what this always does. And let me ask you something. Maybe you just need to see this from a different perspective. I'm not going to ask you, would you buy this? Instead, I'm going to ask you, would you short this? I mean, seriously, would you short this? I wouldn't. That's just like, again, catching a falling knife. This is absolute nonsense. You're just gambling at this point, chasing something that has already run away. There were a couple of good trades on this, which we didn't take, unfortunately. But hey, there were. First one was this over here, the retest of this level, and maybe even the breakout. One trade, two trades. Next one was here, three trades. Next one was here, four trades. Four trades already. And all of those are gone currently. Like here, we're not gonna be buying XFT for a long ass time. That this train is gone. Okay, we missed it. Let's look for opportunities elsewhere. Maple. Yeah, didn't do what I expected it to do. I saw this higher high and I thought, okay, this could easily go up now. Volume was there, everything was there. It looked really nice, but apparently not. Apparently not. I'm still in. I'm trying to get out somewhere over here at 1650 or whatever. It was a tiny position, so it doesn't matter too much. Index, yeah, whatever this is. Could this be a double bottom? I don't think so. Like, there's already quite a few closes below big closes. I mean, unless this pops up in the next couple of days, then I would expect much more downside here. Probably visiting like the $5 area. BIOS, nah, you know, just this was nothing but range shenanigans. So even if you thought, okay, maybe let's buy, this is the break, right? This is wave one. Maybe let's buy the retest over here. Yeah, but not on a V-shaped return. So this wouldn't be something to buy anyway. Now we're back in the range. Idea is invalidated, and yeah, I'm not interested in this for a long time. I really want to see a nice wave one break and then some kind of longer return, and then I would buy it. Oops, oops. API tree. Okay, so this is not looking too hot, is it? I mean, hmm, it can still move. It can still probably move. Yeah. Okay, so I guess once we lose this level over here, this low, then I would call for retest of the lower boundary somewhere over here, probably. But it can still bounce and go up. Who knows? Like this market is just so weird. API 3, I mean. It just cannot get over the $6 area. It's weird. I don't know. There's no plan for this either. I mean, maybe once we get a breakout of this, if it also creates a higher high above this 515 level, then yeah, that could be interesting. But then again, maybe it wouldn't be interesting because it's right into high time frame resistance, right? So yeah, these setups are weird. I'm not trading API 3. Fuck that. MINA, yeah, at range low right now. So either it's gonna bounce and we revisit range high and maybe even break, or it's gonna break down and we probably go all the way to these 260s again. This looks like shit. Lower lows, lower highs. Probably losing, well, uh, yeah, it looks like shit. I mean, it does make sense to go to a lower time frame and look for a change of market structure. Just because it corrected underneath these pivots, that's not necessarily so bad. Like this level, this high time frame support, it's not one level, right? Of course, the level does make a little bit of sense when defining those trades, but in general, it's like an area, like around here somewhere. We know there's buyers. So what we do is we don't necessarily look at the level. Uh, we look at market structure, and then we wait for whatever it is that we want to see, like a break and retest, where we can clearly define risk, and then we look for trades. So this can still turn around. I mean, we have a high here at the 317. If this could do something like this and retest, then yeah, this would make sense buying. But for now, there's no indication of that happening. MTA at the lows again. At the lows again, I would expect it to bounce here at some point. Again, lower time frame, wait for market structure change. This yellow line here is what I call the flippity. This is kind of what we need to see flipped in order to have a chance at going higher. So yeah, there's also like potentially a trade around the flippity. But for now, we wait. Glitch, lower lows, lower highs, kept by EMAs, kept by trend line, losing important levels. Nah, this looks horrible. This looks horrible. Absolutely no point in being long here. Rook seems to be break. Wait, what is this? Oh, it's ONX. Okay. Uh, yeah, seems to be breaking into new lower low or all-time low territory even. So definitely not something I'm interested in. ARCX new lows looks horrible. APY looks horrible as well, but it's right at a important level where you can see that this huge candle appeared, right? This is where buyers really stepped up last time. 30x, Jesus Christ. So what would make sense is to go to the lower time frame. One thing that we know is that from here on, this is where all the unlocks were, and it just made this insane dump, and we are what, like 90% down, 85% down. So it would make a little bit of sense to, let me see here. What are these levels? Yeah, okay. It would make some sense to, let's go to the log as well, to find a level like this one. Now we talk about like real lines and not just areas. And we would like to see this retested before being interested in going in. Because then we would be aiming for this again eventually. So the risk to reward is pretty damn good at that point. Or maybe it will print some different structure, you know, and eventually we'll be maybe able to buy even lower. But yeah, this definitely not interested right now. I need I need to be convinced, at least on the 4 hour. Hey, who would have expected that a pump cannot last forever in this market? I sure wouldn't. And we retraced more than 100%. We're lower than before. This is ridiculous. Um, yeah, rip to everyone who bought over here. I don't know what this is. I really don't. Like, I guess this is the resistance level that we want to see broken and retested. And by that, I mean a real retest, not this shenanigans. Foolishness. Okay. Tough to say what TKN is gonna do here. I mean, we're printing a new lower low, but we are also into previous resistance, so this could be support. Yeah, just go to lower time frame and try to find something. I don't know, market structure change, you know. This, nah, currently looks like this is gonna be ranging over here. And yeah, we'll see what kind of directional bias it shows us eventually. RVST looks like absolute garbage. Looks horrible. Absolute trash. What's this? It's Ethereum Bitcoin. Okay. This looks like an important level, but in the end, I would still wait for a break out of the structure and possibly a higher high as well. I would say this doesn't look good. Like this, when it broke up from here, it should have continued, but instead we lost this support and now we go lower. Like everything, this doesn't scream bullish at all to me. So, nah, not interested. Proton still range bound. Taraxa still range bound. This, I would say this is still range bound as well, but yeah, we're really sticking to this support level. I wouldn't be surprised to see it break and maybe revisit this area, the half cent area. Tanks is just getting absolutely wrecked. Whatever. UNN, oh my goodness. That's just, oof. That looks so bad. I'm so sorry to everyone who holds UNN, which is me too. Oh well, what can you do? Whatever. Yeah, okay. I think that's all, isn't it? Oh, and then we have GMX, of course, and GMX looks pretty good, I gotta say. GMX is cool. Like, let's wait for this. Cool. So, that was this important level, right? Previous resistance, previous support, tested here again, and now we were kind of interested to see, okay, can we see a higher high? And I'm just gonna go through it over here. And we did. We saw this, and this is where I bought for the very first time, and I held. I held, and eventually, we got this pump. Sold that. Then, if you check the 1 hour actually, there was this demand zone, bought here, sold here, bought here, sold here, no joke, then bought here and sold, bought here and sold somewhere over here. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. GMX looks really bullish still. I still have a part of my position. The problem is that this is kind of all-time high, right? Even though what looks like a new trend over here looks very interesting, we have this biggest obstacle to go over, and that is the 40, well, at the above 40 supply, let's just call it that. If we can, with volume, penetrate that level, then maybe some kind of retest would be what we would like to buy. But right now, buying this is like buying an all-time high. It's stupid. I wouldn't do it. I would just wait and see what the market gives me and then buy some kind of structure. But this, no. No, you're supposed to be a seller here, if anything, not a buyer. Okay, and that about concludes it. Um, yeah, overall, market not looking that good. Important levels on the majors, like on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that. We really want to see a bounce if we want to see a continuation, a bullish continuation in 2022. If not, who knows what's gonna happen, you know? Like, are we gonna continue being that correlated to Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin gonna drag everything down again? I don't know. Only time will tell. Are we gonna have a multi-year bear market? I don't know. No one knows. That's the thing. No one knows. The crypto industry and this whole field is so different from what it was a couple of years ago. It's so much more mature. Who knows if we can really have such a big cycle and such a big bear market now? No one knows. So yeah, with that being said, let's just keep on looking for good narratives. If we can find good narratives and then we can find good TA setups on those, I think that's what's going to yield the biggest results in 2022, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And I hope we'll all be participating on this journey together. So I wish you all the best of luck. Have a good week. Have a good day. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.